And it's time now for the press review with Nicholas Rushworth. Nick, we've been looking at the headlines in the French press. You've got a more detailed look this hour. What have you spotted this Tuesday?
Cyril, this Tuesday, Le Figaro has an interview with that judge in New York who was the person deciding the out-of-court settlement between Dominique Strauss-Kahn and Nafissatou Diallo. Fascinating piece. I was taken away by that.
And the judge spoke on the record.
He spoke to Le Figaro and he tells them that initially Nafissatou Diallo was reticent. She did not have faith in the justice system, surprise, surprise, but he argued to her that a settlement would be best for each side. Now, Le Figaro, in that interview with him, says, hey, listen, for French people, this sounds like that in American justice, you can buy anything.
You can buy your way out of having to explain yourself to the judges, yeah.
Absolutely. And so the judge replies, no, that's not the way it is. 9 out of 10 civil cases end in a negotiated settlement, and they discourage the very few to actually pursue a trial. So also fascinating in that piece is, core blimey, would you believe it? He says, if Dominique Strauss-Kahn had bothered to show up in court, I would have thanked him. He says
for that final settlement hearing?
No, I thanked him just for the general tone of the negotiations because.
No, but if he had shown up at the final settlement hearing,
yeah, exactly, he would have said, included him in his expression of thanks to close the case. And I was staggered by the headline. I would have thanked him. That, he says, because he grew to have affection both for Nafissatou Diallo and for Dominique Strauss-Kahn in the process of coming to an agreement. So an interesting article there in the Figaro.
That is very surprising. Most surprising, coming there from the judge that announced the settlement in the Dominique Strauss-Kahn Nafissatou Diallo court case. And still in the conservative daily Le Figaro, the front page is looking at new social security measures here in France after a 2-day conference to tackle poverty.
Well, back to the nitty-gritty of the day-to-day grind of policy making in France. And here we've got on the front page of Le Figaro coverage of a poverty conference, how to tackle it, that's been held in Paris the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. At the end of Tuesday, the government, the socialists, said we're going to increase benefits. We're going to help more people with housing, help more people with their health, help people integrate into the workplace. Now, of course, Le Figaro on the right is saying, hold on, 2.5 billion euros more? Where is that going to come from? You haven't even explained. It says that the bill now for France, up to 2017, they need to find an extra 60 billion. So you do need to be clear about costs. Now, in the editorial there, you can see the alloc en stock. Alloc means allocation, so that's benefits, translates. En stock, they seem, the socialists, to have sort of benefits in a warehouse somewhere. And it is scathing, that editorial. It is saying, basically, hold on, everybody knows now that generosity on credit just leads to ruin. What we've got here is, social woes that are very serious, that they won't be fixed by just spending money.
And this comes at a time when France is trying to shave down its budget and save money. Libération, the left-leaning daily here in France, is leading on that same story.
It has a picture there on its front page of a bloke rummaging through the rubbish at the end of market day, perhaps to find some bananas or oranges or scraps of food, a sort of reflection there of the concern about poverty in France. SOS Pauvreté is the headline. And I thought, well, it's going to be very keen, surely, about the socialists. It's a left-wing paper. It's going to be keen about this. Not at all. It is very measured in its reporting. In the inside pages, it has an interview with Louis Morin, who's the director of an NGO here in France, addressing inequality and poverty and so on. And there you can see the Libération article, l'augmentation du RSA est ridicule. And so that's RSA is actually a benefit that would help people out of work to get into it. So that was going to be upped as well. Now, the article there from this NGO director is saying, this is ridiculous.
Increasing benefits for the poorest people is ridiculous.
Increasing the benefit is ridiculous. Why? Because it's about PR. The socialist government has done this for PR. They're only giving peanuts, and that does not address the issue. So it's just about blah, blah, and they're not delivering on the ground the promises that they made. So
you're saying it doesn't help address inequalities?
So there, Morin is saying, it's too tiny. It's not enough. It's not what you said. It's not what you promised. So that's the take. I was taken aback by that by Libé because I thought that they would be encouraged by that, this 2-day conference. So there you go.
All right, Nicholas Rushworth, thank you very much. And you'll be back later on in the morning with a look at the international papers. Thank you very much.